Hey everyone, the Resonator here. First off, I'd like to thank my good buddy Steve at Birch Elm for creating these coasters for me. I have a set of four, and they should be featured in a lot of upcoming videos. So thanks. His information and his Etsy store is going to be in the information below. For this video, I'm going to show you how I paint my counters. I also paint dice the same way. So if you either want to touch up dice or you 3D printed some dice and counters like this is an easy way to paint them and get some good color on them. These are actually printed in a rose translucent color. I'm using golden high flow Nethol red light. This is a little thin. I'd recommend using something a little bit thicker. Alright, what I'm going to do is just load my brush. I'm not going to worry about wiping off the excess because I want the excess, and just dab that excess into all the crevices like the negative, the 1, the HP, and not really worrying about if I go a little overboard, because we'll worry about that in just a minute here. After I've got everything filled in, I'll just go ahead and gently brush off any excess. This will help get some of the stuff that got a little extra outside the HP a lot, as you saw on that one. But just it'll help wipe away the excess. Now the trick to doing this is either having a light touch or using like a really flat part of your finger to wipe across, because you can drag it across and pull some of the paint away, and that's what you're not trying to do. You're just trying to get some of the excess that's on top of, not the stuff that's inside the crevices. You can always do this technique twice after you've let it dry, and you'll get a nice good fill in case some of these areas got wiped away. And here the negative got wiped away a little extra, and so same with the 1, and I filled it in a little bit more and then wiped it away. Don't worry about leaving some extra paint on the excesses, because we're going to take care of that. We'll take care of that in a little bit. Alright, I'm switching counters and colors. I'm actually using the golden high flow ultramarine blue, and I'm using a confusion token this time instead of the damage token or health token. The principle is exactly the same. Just load up the brush and try to fill in the indented portion of the marker as best you can. And then with something this wide, you got to worry about when you're doing the wiping, because you could really take some out in the middle. Same with the cleaning process in a minute that I'll show you. You got to be really careful with these wide ones. So it was a little challenging making sure I didn't wipe away the paint that I wanted inside the crevices or inside the marker design, and then also cleaning it up, being careful then too, which I'll show you in just a moment. Alright, here's where all the magic happens. This is isopropanol, 99%. You can use less than this. That's just what I have lying around because I do a lot of 3D printing and I use it for cleaning my prints. So 99% alcohol, get a little Q-tip or cotton swab, just go ahead and dip it in the alcohol and then clean up all the extra paint that's sitting on top of the indentation, and then you have a nice clean marker. What I recommend is giving it a good saturation at first and cleaning it up, and then with the wet side, and then flipping the Q-tip over and using that dry side to kind of clean up all the. It's going to be a little bit saturated isopropanol with the color that you're cleaning up. So this was first an HP marker, the damage marker. Next, I'll do a confusion marker as well. Here's a confusion token. As I mentioned earlier, you got to be really careful with this cleaning section or cleaning step because you're going to put a little extra alcohol that's going to be floating around on top of the marker, and it'll fall into the indentations and the parts that you want to have paint on. And when you go to clean it up, you may end up wiping some of that away. And I end up doing that on one of these blue markers and end up repainting it later. I just want to point out that you don't have to rush to do this cleanup stage. Some of these markers I had painted and let dry that day and then cleaned them up, but actually most of the markers that I've cleaned up were sitting around for a couple days before I got to them and cleaned them up. So you can wait a couple days, a week, and still use the isopropanol if it's strong enough, and it should be able to clean off the marker. Again, this technique will work for dice or tokens. You can go ahead and repaint dice if you want. If you've had them for a long time and the colors are fading away, just use the same exact technique and you can color in any kind of dice or markers. If you just want to change the colors because you couldn't see them as well and you want to color like a white or a black to contrast different with like a light or dark color, it's perfect for that application. I've used this technique to also paint the numbers and icons on the other Bloodfield dice and tokens. So it's a very fun, easy technique you can use, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember, I'll be back.